Hey, are you gonna tell me what's up? Reed, it's me. Do you ever wonder if you lived up to expectations? I mean, I figured I'd be a born socialite by 25. I thought I'd cure schizophrenia by the time I was 25. You know, when I was a kid, people told me I could do anything. You're afraid you've let people down? No, I'm afraid I let myself down. By not curing schizophrenia? No, just because I don't know why I'm in the FBI. I see. Here in G.
Hi.
The same job as me, Morgan, JJ. Yeah, exactly. No, it's not.
Hi, Michelle.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I was starting to think I was gonna be all alone.
No, I was checking myself out. You know how you can go in, like you have to say okay, join. Then I looked at the clock and I was like, oh no, join this session.
Yeah.
Where's everybody?
I don't know. Here comes G Moses. Okay.
Hey, how are
Hi,
you?
Georgette.
You're looking nice tonight.
Thank you. I was just telling Randie I thought I was gonna be alone.
Oh, no. Everybody must be having that kind of a week. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I just realized a few minutes ago that I didn't email the link to get into the Hangout like a
Oh,
couple of days ago.
Oh,
And so I was scurrying around to get that done a few minutes ago, but
hey, it's all
we're,
right. It
we're
worked
at
out in the end.
we're at the end. We made it.
Yes, yes.
it was a long session.
Yeah. I think the two books, back to back made it feel long,
Yeah.
even though it really wasn't that long, but I think that long on the one kind of topic was, I don't know. But anyway, great books. Did y'all vote? There are no votes?
I
Barely?
I voted at like 5:30. I'm sorry.
Where? Because honestly, I saw it. I was like, oh, the votes are up, and I refreshed the page, and I never went back. Where is it on the?
It's
I
on the Google.
I was excited.
Yeah, it's on the Google page, it's on the
I don't
Facebook
Facebook.
page.
Is it on the session 4 or is it under the Global Black Feminist?
I think I did put it in session 4 and 5 conversationalists. It's everywhere. It's just,
I did see it.
I don't know.
Vote. See it.
You see it?
And I think the first book is the book that I read. Ain't I Woman? That's nice that that's on there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, when Chicken Heads Come, that's a good book.
Which one?
The chicken head.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah,
one
that's
was
the.
really great.
Oh, you read it already.
I
Okay.
read it for a class, one of those classes in college. You know that ones you have once a week that are 3 hours long.
Oh,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I see right now we have 4 votes that are in.
But
Randie, what are you doing? Well, we are live, so. But Randie, what are you gonna do for the next session? I mean, I want you to vote, but are you gonna be here?
I didn't even consider it as like an option not to be here until you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, but I don't want like the wedding to be the reason why I can't interact. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna do if I don't. I feel like if I said okay, well, I'll take this session off. You know how you like leave something and you want to go be back in it. I don't know. I've been doing the club since
June 2014.
It's gonna be weird. Like, you have those days where it's like really difficult. You really just don't feel like it. I think that's anybody. But then you do it because it's the book club. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna end up sticking around. Yeah, just have to bear with
Venita's
me.
here. Yay.
Yeah, girl. I was rushing. Girl, I just mowed down some people on the highway. I think I killed 4 or 5 people.
Shh, we're live. Don't.
We're live.
It was a video. It was a video. She was playing a video game.
I was talking about, seriously, though, I was just trying to get back here and people run to each other for no reason. Hi, everybody. Randie, Georgette, Michelle.
So, we have one viewer. All right, so who are we missing? Kim and
Joel. I don't think he's gonna make it. He's had a bad migraine attack all day today, so.
Oh, okay.
And
I haven't heard from Kim, so we probably shouldn't wait for her. But let me just finish hearing what Randie is saying, because I was trying to figure out if Randie was going to be here next session. I don't want you to feel pressure about it, Randie. We'll be here. I guess we'll be here. I mean, I want us to talk about it tonight, whether or not we have the stamina to keep going.
It's not that bad, but
yeah, for you maybe.
Okay.
But I mean, a wedding is a big deal.
It is, and it's coming by so quick.
Yeah. And it takes, I know you want to do everything. I have that problem myself. You see how I couldn't stop myself from asking all those questions? Because I just want to know everything and be everywhere and do everything.
Crazy.
It's okay.
Unfortunately, we have these limits. So, do think about it over the break, and come back if you want to, but don't come back, feeling like you don't have an option, because you have an option.
Well, I just want to say that, Randie, if you want to pop in every once in a while during the meetings, feel free. Okay?
Yeah.
I feel like I won't be gone.
Huh?
I have a late night conversation about me and the wedding.
No. Venita and I do talk about you sometimes, though, in all honesty. And we do say, Randie got a lot of stuff going on. She got a wedding to plan. She's got a man in her life. She's got...
As a man?
She's got a full-time job. She's doing mentoring on the side.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's a lot, Randie.
It's crazy.
It's all wonderful things. We only discuss you because we love you, and we want, we don't want to spread you so thin, and then we don't have none of you. So we kind of figured we got to make a sacrifice for you to marry this man and to raise this dog and to do your and to do all the stuff you got to do. We'd rather make a sacrifice for you to go here and concentrate on that rather than lose all of you.
Right.
That's what we're saying. We love you. We don't want you to go anywhere. We don't want you, well, I ain't going to, we don't want you to get married. We don't want you to have a dog. We accepted it now, Randie. We've accepted it. We've accepted everything. We want to make sure that you're okay and you have time to plan a fabulous wedding, okay? And do all the things that you need to do so you can be fabulous. And that's all. But we love you. You know I love you, right? You do know I love you, right?
I do know, Vinny. I love you as well.
All right,
If Joel was here, he would say, now if y'all are finished with the love fest.
Right, let's get started or something stupid.
Oh my goodness.
Venita, did you get to vote on the book?
Whatever you vote is fine. I have to read it anyway. It doesn't make a difference. All of them are good. Of course, I love Bell
They
Hooks.
were.
I do
Mhm.
love Bell Hooks. You know that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you had to sit there and struggle with it. I mean,
Yeah.
so I could do any of them really.
Yeah, they're all good titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Well, before we get out of here, I'll go see. Last time I checked, we had 4 votes, so I don't know if we should. And I don't know. I'll look at it before we go.
I'm on the Vote Google Hangout, but I don't.
can't hear you.
We lost your sound, Rand. Are you?
Oh,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It says Vote Session 6.
Yeah.
Opened it and I read through all the books, and I'm trying to choose one, but I click on it and it takes me to the Amazon.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It didn't
Are
like.
you?
Vote.
Are you? Are you on the? Is it giving you a description of the books when you open the link? Is it giving you a description of the books?
Yes.
Okay, go back to the Google Hangout, and this is a 2-step process. So the first link takes you to a description of the books. The second link takes you to the place to vote.
Okay. See, I went through the Facebook page.
Yeah, wherever I posted it, it's a 2-step process.
The first link. Oh, I see the second cast your vote here. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Please choose one. Oh, I'm gonna choose this one.
Okay, so we do have a viewer, so let's go on and get started. And let me welcome everyone to the last meeting of session 5 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Michelle Odom. I'm located in Brooklyn, New York, and you can learn more about this reading group on Google Plus, where we have a community page and a page, and on Facebook and on YouTube, where there are loads of videos in our archives. Randie, I think, is that noise coming from your, okay,
There's nobody out here.
okay,
The group. He's asleep.
okay. Um, so let's everybody introduce themselves. Georgette?
Good evening. My name is Georgette Moses, and I am with you tonight from Columbia, South Carolina. Yay!
Yeah.
Glad to see you all here.
Welcome. And Randie?
Hello, I'm Randie Henderson, and I am watching and participating from Atlanta, Georgia.
Glad to see you. And Venita?
Hi, my name is Venita Walker. I am joining you from Carmel, Connecticut. Welcome.
Okay, and since you're here, Venita, are you going to be the timekeeper?
That's my job.
Okay. And this group knows the community rules and all of that. So anyway, I want to get through the discussion on chapters 18 through the epilogue by about 7:45, so we can take a little time for group business tonight. And I'm really sorry that Kim and Joelle are not with us, but we'll do what we can do. So let's go on and get into it. This is a summary of chapters 18 through the epilogue of Octavia E. Butler's Parable of the Talents. And I'll read the summary. In chapter 18, let me get I need a little bit more A little bit more zoom on my page, I think. In chapter 18, Lauren fails in her attempt to get her brother's help in locating her daughter and is hurt and disappointed by the violent reaction of the beautiful minister. In chapter 19, we see the ways in which Dreamasks are used to instill values and escape reality through the memories and experiences of Larkin or Asha Vere and the mother of Belen Ross. We also get a sense of the prevalence of sexual abuse in the way Larkin is treated by her adoptive father and in the way Belen's father has sex with some of his children. Themes of love and passion and the lack thereof resonate through this chapter. Larkin leaves home, meets her uncle Mark, and learns of the deaths of her natural parents in chapter 20. Focusing on the need for purpose in our lives, Lauren expounds on the ultimate purpose of Earthseed, to take root among the stars, as her relationship with Belen deepens. She also meets another woman, Mia, who, like Belen, is in need of a life's purpose. In a near lesbian encounter, Lauren opts instead to leave Mia with the purpose of caring for her needy children she will find and bring to her, caring for needy children. Larkin and her uncle Mark become a real family, with Mark excelling as a Christian American minister and Larkin doing well as a Dreamasks developer. Their relationship was threatened, however, when Larkin became curious about Earthseed in chapter 21. Meanwhile, Lauren and Belen did well in spreading the word on Earthseed and prospered as public speakers who inspired development of many communities focused on the destiny. The epilogue includes the twin highlights of Lauren being reunited with her daughter and seeing the first spaceships off to inhabit new worlds. Both were a bit anticlimactic, in my humble opinion, in that Larkin never learned to appreciate her mother, whom she sought and met when Lauren was 58 years old, continuing to feel she had been abandoned for Earthseed, and Lauren did not go up with her first spaceship load of settlers, though at 81 years old, she was alive to see it go and had plans to send her ashes on a future mission. Okay, of course, I highlighted the questions for us to focus on because, you all know me by now. So let's start on question C5. And Georgette, would you read that, please? C5.
Okay. Blood. Have you ever
Let's
tried?
start with
I
the
did.
key point
Okay.
C. Yeah.
Okay, C. She finally finds a way to meet him, and in anger blurts out to Mark, now a Christian America, CA minister, what his churchmen have done at Acorn, including the kidnapping of Lauren's daughter. Mark found her stories unbelievable. Mark got so angry hearing Lauren's story about CA, he hit her. She realizes she can no longer trust him, and he might turn her into CA for the murders she committed at Acorn. Also, Lauren learns Jorge George, I'm not sure, found his brother Mateo, but after suffering sexual abuse, Mateo is now wounded and bitter. And then question number 5, blood. Have you ever tried to explain a fantastic series of events to someone and found they simply could not believe you? If so, how did that feel to you? Why was it so difficult for Mark to hear Lauren's story? Why didn't Mark relate to Lauren's experience of being collared and raped even after she compared her CA captors to Cougar? Would you trust someone to help you if they clearly did not believe your story? Blood is thicker than water, we tell ourselves, but is family blood a good enough reason for trusting someone? Would you expect a person who is wounded and bitter in the same way that you were to have compassion for you? After all that happened to the Olamina family, were they still a family? Wow, that was a bucket load of questions, Michelle.
Right.
Well, it's all on the theme.
Well, yeah, it sure is. Okay. Hmm. Huh, yes, I've had to explain some fantastic stories to people when I was a kid. They didn't believe me. Oh,
How did that feel?
it felt disappointing because I knew it was true. And then it was educational because I found out who I should tell, just how much, and in what way. So, yeah, I took it as an educational experience.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and why was it so difficult for Mark to hear Lauren's story? Because he was living in the delusion. He was drinking the CA Kool-Aid with extra sugar.
Yes, he was.
He didn't want to hear that. And he was traumatized too, so he didn't want to make that connection between the Lauren he knew um, being placed in a situation where she was subjected to violence and sexual torture and abuse, because then he would have to acknowledge, his memories of trauma, what had happened to him. And he had recreated himself. He wasn't the Mark that was, the child prostitute anymore. He was the CA minister preaching Jarrett's gospel. So I think that's why he didn't even want to try to relate to Lauren's experience, because that would have meant acknowledging some things about himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would have been, if anything about what he had preached or his father had taught him about, God and religion were true, then that would have convicted him to have to help his sister and do what was right. And that might have meant him losing his position in CA or something. It was uncomfortable. I think that was uncomfortable. And you probably find that a lot, whether you're related to people or not, that they'll only extend as much as is safe for them to, and then they'll justify it, So no matter if what you're telling them is true or not, either they choose to believe you or they choose to disbelieve you, and the reasons are varied. So, and let's see what else is in here. All these deep questions. Yes, I would expect a person who was wounded and bitter in the same way to have compassion. Except those people who are, they've got a barrier up and they have created a new personality for them. That's their protection. They've created this way of handling what happened to them by denying it. So, and they turned that your problem is your problem. So, but I would still expect it, but I've been disappointed many times. So, and then after all that's happened to the Olamina family, were they still family? Yeah, they were family in the sense of biologically, but they were, like a lot of families, they had issues. So, yeah, they were a fractured family. That's what I'll say about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. Anybody else? Randie?
Um. Okay, so I'll go in order. Yes, I have tried to explain a fantastic event to someone, and they did not believe me. and that was difficult because it made me feel silly. But anyway, why was it difficult for Mark to hear Lauren's story? I don't know. I always thought Mark was a little off. I don't know. He rescued him. He was a little off, and I didn't expect him to ever be the same again. And when he said that Jared was his teacher, he was gonna like utilize him as a teacher. I don't know. You have people who experience trauma who who fully heal. I just don't think that he ever did. I can't explain it. It was just really weird how he would the type of excuses he was giving Lauren when he said they call them the Crusaders. They're courageous, but they're misguided. Like, how do you call somebody courageous when they're locking people up and falsely re-educating people? And he just wasn't willing to listen or hear her. And I do think, like she said when she was narrating, that he did believe her, and he was wrong to have hit her. But that's CA for you. Would I trust someone to help you if they could not believe your story? Would I trust someone to help me? No, I wouldn't. And I think that we all know our family. Like, there are certain family members that I really love and that I have forgiven for the things they've done to me, but I would never leave my child with them, alone when I have children. And I think that's like Georgette was saying, like, you learn who to tell to, what exactly to tell things to. There are some family members, if I wanted to get out, I'm going to go to that family member. If I don't want it to get out, I won't go to them because I know better. And so, in that sense, it is very educational to know. So at least, without a doubt, I will always know which family member to trust. Would I expect a person who was wounded and bitter in the same way I was to have compassion? Well, I think that goes back to Mark. Like, you have people who experience the things that Mark did, like Lauren and her people, who turned out to be good people and then keep secrets from her that were horrible secrets to keep, like Mark did, who like healed and leaned on something in a positive way. Then you have Mark, who cast out people based off their decision and what they've been through, and he's very religiously Christian, which is very dangerous, I think, considering how crazy Jared was and his followers were. I just think Mark was just off towards the end of the book. After she rescued him, I think he had been a slave too long. I think the collar really affected him, and it doesn't help, and it didn't help that he was really beautiful. I think that maybe if he was ugly, he would have had a different experience. But I'm so serious. Maybe he had he was too pretty for his own good.
Okay. Venita, anything?
Well, I didn't read all of the book, of course. However, these questions can relate to anyone. Actually not. I really have never tried to explain a fantastic story, series of events, to anyone, other than my friend Michelle. Because I know that with Michelle will believe me. I don't have to, and that's the truth, with family members or otherwise. I simply don't trust 99.9% of them. So I would never even think to share anything with them or to confide in them. I'm an observer. I always feel if you sit back and you observe people's behaviors, you know them. So why bother? And when I see the behaviors that I see, I just would never bother to share a series of any events, fantastic or otherwise, with family members. So no, I've never really had that rejection because I've never taken that chance because I've observed and I've seen what people are made of. So I confide in Michelle. And as I said, I think earlier on, that if I told Michelle a unicorn was running down the street, she would ask me what color was he? What did he have on? Where was he going? She would believe me. And I wanted to say, though, that I am really blessed to have someone, other than my husband, of course, someone that I could actually talk to that I know they'll believe me. So I guess I'm lucky in that way. I've seen other people feel bad and rejected in my family and with associates when they've shared their feelings or series of events or fantastic events with other people, and that was just enough for me. I think it was difficult for Mark to hear Lauren's story. I can only imagine, because I've seen this happen. You know, a lot of times when you accept someone's story, especially family members, from my experience and observing them, that means you got a whole lot of stuff out your closet.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's very painful for people to let these things out of their closet because they pushed it so far back. So instead of embracing what she said, or at least trying to understand what she said, what she knew, it was just too painful. Because then he would have to admit to a lot of things himself. And he probably wasn't ready to do that. So it's happened to me a couple times in my life where I've said something, the person would lash out at me, knowing full well it's the truth, but instead of embracing the truth or listening to it, they would just lash out because they weren't ready to let their stuff out. So I can understand that. Would you trust someone to help you if they clearly did not believe your story? I just told you I don't trust anybody.
Okay.
Whether I told them the story or not, I mean, very few people I trust, with my life anyway. What else is here? Blood is thicker than water. We tell ourselves, but it's family blood. No, I can answer that for you. No, it's not. Blood, for me, is not thicker than water, ever. As I say, I'm an observer. I've experienced a lot of things with family, a lot of unpleasantries with family. And if you love me and you truly are family, then you will be mindful of what you do and what you say, of things that might hurt me. So when you're not mindful of what you do and what you say and hurt me, then apparently you don't love me. Because the people I love, that's what I do. So, no, blood is not thicker than water, and I don't trust any of them bastards.
Okay. Well, on that note.
Too much honesty tonight, Georgette.
What'd you say, Venita?
Honesty tonight.
Yes. Well, you're always honest, always.
Well, I'm a truthful person. I'm telling you the truth. That's the problem with families now, that everyone wants to pretty things up, be in denial, hide a little dirt, go in the closet. I'm not that girl. I don't go along to get along. That will never happen.
All right, and they all know it too.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm the black sheep.
You're Okay.
Well, I will just be brief and just say yes, I have tried to explain a series of fantastic events to people that I believed should have believed me, and they did not. And I was not a little girl. I was an old woman, Georgette. I wonder if it would have been easier for me to learn the lesson if I had learned it as a child, because it took me a good while to figure out that really this is not even about me, you know, and I was taking their reactions personally. I even took Mark's reaction personally. I was so disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I
He
was so
was
disappointed in
disappointed.
how he treated his sister. You would have thought it was
Yeah.
me.
Mm.
But
I'm sorry.
but you know, it did take me a long time to figure out that really is not about me. It's about whatever is going on with that other person, and you know, don't take it personal. So let's move on and go down to F. Question 9, Randie.
Okay. F. Larkin begins the chapter describing the dream mask she made as a child. She was disenchanted with the stories she was allowed to experience, those where characters were always being shown the error of their ways, suffering for their sins, and then returning to God. Boys fought for Christian America. They went to war against heathens or went out as missionaries in dangerous, wicked, foreign jungles and deserts. Girls, on the other hand, were always cooking, cleaning, sewing, crying, praying, taking care of babies or old people, and going to church. Asha Vere was unusual because she did interesting things. She saved people. She made them return to God. She was one of the few. In fact, as a black and a woman, she was the only one. The dream mask Larkin created included her desire for different parents, parents who cared about me and didn't wish always that I were another person. She would soon learn she had in fact been adopted and broke the jaw of a schoolmate who taunted her with this information. To stimulate her own creativity, she read a lot and watched people. I tried to feel what other people felt and know them, really know them. Creativity. Like her mother, Larkin Asha Vere has a creative urge despite the best efforts by her society to kill it. Do you believe everyone is born with a creative spirit or that it is something only given to the talented few? Why would a society choose to squash rather than nurture the creative spirit? Do you believe the United States of today values creativity? Why or why not? Thinking back on the way in which Uncle Mark defined real power and source of influence, do you think creativity is a source of power or influence on which powerless people should capitalize? Whew.
Mhm.
Um, I did notice that Larkin had a creative urge, but I saw more. I thought it was more interesting that I know this isn't a question, but me reading the question made me think of it. How it seems like this family, Larkin, Uncle Mark, and Lauren, have this desire to save or to be in a position to, I don't know, impact, but not like on a normal scale. Lauren starts creating, not Lauren. Larkin starts creating Dreamasks. Lauren creates Earthseed. Mark becomes a CA minister and a good one. So I just thought that was an interesting dynamic. But anyway, do you believe everyone is born with a creative spirit? I don't know. I think that everybody is born with a creative spirit. I don't think that everyone is naturally born with ways to execute it. Like you have really great people who are, like I think that we're all naturally talented, but there are only a few that can be like profound in it because of something I think already in you that doesn't have to be nursed out. It just has to be supported or not supported. Usually people are motivated sometimes by not being supported. So I do think people are born with creative spirit. I don't think that people are born with ways to really execute it and become great. So that is only given to talented few. Why would a society choose to squash rather than nurture the creative spirit? I think that a society would choose to squash rather than nurture the creative spirit because it's difficult to control somebody who thinks differently, and creative people think differently, and they think very outside the box. And abnormally. And I think that power, at least negative power, is very structured, and you have to be almost like a worker bee to believe it and to be able to live with it. And creative people usually aren't worker bees. So, and so that's a danger to people who want to remain in power. And so you have to squash that. So while Larkin got on my nerves, I am happy that she developed some Dreamasks. You know, she did what she had, she did what she loved to do despite almost being collared because of it.
Why did she get on your nerves?
Because, the first time I read the book, I was like, okay, I get it. And then on up until this point, I wasn't necessarily Team Larkin. I was upset with Lauren. But after rereading it, in the epilogue, I'm like, you want to really meet your mother, you're 34, you're too old to be acting like you still 16. And I feel like she had more freaking courage and tolerance with her adopted father than she did with her mom, who was rightfully angry with her uncle. And Larkin's low-key in love with her uncle, which is a problem. And I believe that her uncle knows this, which is also a problem, because he used that to his benefit, I believe, by telling her parents are dead and having her solely rely on him for not 34 years. A long time.
She was 18.
More than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that was real sketchy. So, that was just. And so she goes and she finally meets her mom, but she doesn't want her to touch her. And then all of a sudden, she's pulled in and she's liking her, but this is cultish, so let me leave because she seems like the type of person that'll make you like her and then show you who she really is. It was just stupid. Being inside her head, I really wish that Lauren had narrated that part. I was just like, this is.
So are you back on Team Lauren? Is that what you did?
On Team, I'm happy we finished the book.
Okay.
It's they were all I was done with everybody at the end because I forgot that she didn't go to Mars. The first, I forgot that part. So when I read it, I was like, you done did all this for 81 years and you gonna wait till you die? Anyway.
Right.
I digress.
I was a little disappointed in that myself, yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Venita, Georgette on creativity?
Georgette?
Okay. Well, I think everybody has a gift. Now, whether or not you realize it or the people around you help nurture it or something happens and you have an opportunity to recognize it and use it, it all depends on circumstance and then desire. And yes, it's dangerous. We can look at history and see where, let's take the Germans. They crushed the artists because they were subversive. Because those are the people who want to be free, right? If you're creative, you're thinking, like Randie said, thinking outside the box. You're thinking of ways to be free and to create and improve on things, your life, other people's lives, maybe. And if the people in power, if that's not going along with their plan, well, you're a problem. So, and it's just a different type of personality. The people who fall in line underneath the heavy controllers are not those free spirits. They're just not. They bump heads. So, and today in the United States, the kind of creativity they value is the kind they can rebrand, remarket, reproduce. It's gotta make some money, and you can see that by the copycat songs on the radio. Oh my gosh, they all sound the same. Same lyrics, change the face, interchangeable. I think we were talking about it the other day, say, hey, there are no girl groups anymore.
Wow.
Wonder why? Because the entertainment industry controls everything.
Mhm.
So if you can't promote yourself and get people to buy, your music, no one will ever hear you
That's true.
because they've got a message that they're putting out.
Hmm.
Right.
And if you're not in that message, hey, you don't get played.
Yeah.
So let's see. Do you think creativity is a source of power or influence on which powerless people should capitalize? Oh, absolutely. But you have to be careful because the people who are trying to keep you down are watching for you. and,
Mhm.
le- and they have traps. So, hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Venita, anything?
No, I agree with Randie and both Georgette that there's creativity in everyone. Um, and you do have to have the desire, and I think nurturing is very important. Um, very. Um, because sometimes nurturing can bring out the desire. And I think that's missing a lot. And I should say, particularly with black folk. A lot of us didn't have the time or the luxury to be nurtured, to bring out our creative talents, because we had so many other things that were on the plate growing up. You know, if you ever look at a lot of Caucasian people, they have the confidence, and they have that nurturing. Whereas you come to your parents and you say, well, I have a good idea. I think I'll drop out of MIT. I think I'll go in the basement and create a program. They have that flexibility. Whereas a lot of us, and we are very, very creative, for a host of reasons, didn't have that flexibility. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
so,
Had to work.
well, I'm trying to be all diplomatic. I don't know why tonight. I feel like you need for something. I'm trying to be a more diplomatic person.
Crack that whip.
I'm just trying to keep my head down to get to the transaction.
Okay.
That's an inside joke, Georgette, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right, all right. Okay, so let's move on because it's getting late already. I thought we started in good time,
No.
but all right, let's go down to M. Oh, this is gonna be a fun question. M17, Venita.
Okay, I'm gonna blow this up a little bit because I'm challenged. Okay. With Nia, Lauren is learning to use her sharing in a positive way. Drawing someone gives me an excellent excuse to study them and let myself feel what it seems to me that they feel. That's what sharing is, after all, and it comes to me whether I want it or not. I might as well use it. It helps me manipulate that person. Everything teaches. In a test case on photosynthesizing, they stopped at the house of Nia. Just stoop. I'm sorry, stop. I can't see. They stopped at the home of Nia, a former teacher, and Lauren nearly has a lesbian encounter with her. But I went to her and hugged her and held her. Like Lynn, she needs to be hugged and held, need to cry in someone's arms. She's been alone for so long. To my own surprise, I realized that under other circumstances, I might have taken her to bed. So, is this Lauren?
Yes.
I missed some stuff, Granny. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to, get my bear. I didn't read the book, Okay. So I had never been tempted to want to make love with a woman. Now I found myself almost wanting to. Oh. And she almost wanted me too. Uh-oh. But that wasn't the relationship that I needed between us. Instead of sex, Lauren decided to give Nia the purpose of caring for needy children she will bring to her. Okay. All right, Lauren. Number 17, sexual preference. Now, I hope Michelle didn't go crazy. No. Were you surprised by Lauren's casual admission that she was sexually attracted to Nia? Why do you think it was that you have the sexual preferences why do you think it is that you have the sexual preferences that you have? Have you ever found yourself attracted sexually to someone of the same gender? Ann Landers? Why is it that some people or religions seem to feel threatened by an individual's sexual preference when it differs from their own choice of code? Can we ever truly be free if we are constrained in the choices we make about our sexuality? Is sexual freedom something we need as a human being? Why or why not?
All right, we can't see your whole face. Adjust your camera a little bit. I want to hear this good.
You see, that's what I'm saying, Georgette. It's always, going all over. Am I supposed to answer that question?
Yeah.
You just want me to read it?
No, that's your question.
No, that's your question. All right. Now, where do we start? Were you surprised by Lauren's casual admission? Well, I figured, how old is Lauren now?
She must have been in her, late 20s when that happened.
Okay. No, I'm not surprised. Because, I think Lauren's a little undercover anyway. All right, and that's always been the way I felt about Lauren. Even with her being so involved with Earthseed and with the hubby and the child, I always felt that Lauren could go whichever way she wanted to go. So I'm not surprised at that with Lauren. Was Nia cute?
Huh?
Was Nia cute?
I don't know. Was Nia? I don't recall the description being very attractive. It wasn't attractive to me. Do y'all remember?
I don't they talk about how beautiful Mark is over and over, or anybody really. I don't remember.
Yeah, Nia, there wasn't. I think she was a little chubby white lady.
A chubby white lady? I'm just asking. I didn't know. All right, Lauren. You didn't say that. Maybe that's why you didn't take up on it.
And an older woman, too.
Maybe. See, you got to get the facts. That's why she was hugged her and told her, I'd rather you raise some of these kids over here. I'm not ready to bring you. Because I did want to have an affair with a woman, you know what I'm saying? If I was 20-something years old, I don't know if I would have chose that. Because, at that point, face value counts a lot. All right, so.
Okay.
No, seriously, I'm very serious about that. So that's what she said to the kids. Have you ever found yourself attracted sexually to someone of the same gender? I wouldn't say sexually, but a couple times, I think throughout my life, you've probably seen somebody that was very attractive intellectually and maybe very attractive physically, and I would have said, if I was a man, I would choose her. Okay. Once again, you never say never. You know what I'm saying? You don't know where your life is going to bring you. So I've never been attracted to a woman, a person of the same gender, but I would never say never. Because you just don't know. Why are you laughing, Randie?
I think you're funny.
Is that in a good way, Randie?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm serious. You know, you got to think about things like that. You never know. After they zap all these
You're right.
get killed, you know, might just be us.
Yeah.
You never know. Why is it that some people or religions seem to feel threatened by individual sexual preference? Because half of them gay. See, that's what killed me. Okay, I'm going to call it like I
Okay.
see.
Go ahead.
A lot of the homophobic, whether it's females or males, a lot of course, these religious folks, a lot of them feel a little threatened by it because then, once again, what we just talked about, in order for you to acknowledge some things, you got to let some stuff out.
Mhm.
And a lot of them
Yeah.
are homosexual. Okay, so, I mean, I think that's the only reason itself. It has nothing to do with anything else. I'm tired of the whole through the Bible thing and what the Bible said and this and that. No, a lot of them are gay. In order for them to accept someone else being gay, they have to accept their own homosexuality. Now, all the Christians are going to stop tuning in, I know, but whatever. That's my thought.
Okay.
And can we truly be free if we are constrained our choices we make in ourselves? No, I don't think so. I think humans need to be free. I always felt like I'm not the judge or the jury. I'm not perfect. I have the right to judge another person. I believe in live and let live. You know, I don't understand what the issue is. I just don't understand what is the issue. You take care of you, let them take care of them and be them, and everybody's cool.
Mhm.
There go the Christians again. I'm sorry. They mad tonight at me, Georgette.
They'll be okay. They'll get over it.
Well, I get over it.
Okay. Anybody else on that question? Randie, you're smiling. You must have something to say.
I'm waiting. Okay, come on, Randy. You got 3 minutes. What's up? That's tell me.
Was I surprised? I was not. I think that the whole change, whatever thing, I think for Lauren, and for a lot of people maybe who believe in RC, that is change is inevitable. Nothing is whatever. I can't remember. But I think that because of her belief, she is perfectly fine with, you know, being fluid with her desires. She's always talking about how masculine she looks. You know, she's very aware that she's, you know, not very feminine and she doesn't seem to really be bothered by other people's relationships. She's fine, you know. So I wasn't surprised at all. And I think that her being casual was her being her. Like, there's no reason for her to make a big deal out of it, especially because she's a sharer in the first place. So not really much you can filter with, you know, with what she feels. There's just no point. Why do you think it is that you have the sexual preference you have? I think it's more conditioning than, you know, I just think it's more conditioning. I grew up in a, I guess you could say, Christian home or Christian family, but that's just, but I think it's more conditioning. I think it's more, how do your parents react if you come home and say you have a crush on a boy, you know, or how are your parents reacting when a certain movie is on, you know, and there's a guy and a guy kissing or a girl and a boy kissing. Are you allowed to stay in the room when that, you know, like, so I think that was more watching my parents. Not really my parents. They don't really seem to care. Watching my grandparents.
Yeah.
Watching my grandparents more than my parents. Watching my grandparents and being with them because, you know, our parents had us so young. We were really always with them. So I think that was more conditioning, more of a preference, and you just kind of stick with it. Have I ever found myself attracted sexually to someone at the same gender? Sexually? I don't think. I mean, I think I'm mirroring Venita. It's like very, like, I'll see a beautiful woman. I'm like, oh, she's, you know, she's fine. Especially if I'm with Mike and he's trying to act like he don't see her. Hey, look,
Yeah.
I know she's beautiful. You don't have to keep playing these games. Like, You know, like, and he's never done anything crazy, but like, let's not act like this woman is not gorgeous. That's
Right.
fine. But I think that I don't know. Attraction is. I think attraction can vary based off gender. So I've never had, and because of my parents, at least my mom is pretty open in terms of discussing that. Like we're not one to be like, oh, the lady is not pretty, or or I don't know. It's just the conversation was always so natural. Attraction is if the person's beautiful, then the person's beautiful, and if I was a man, I'd marry her too, or like Beyonce. I know Venita don't like Beyonce, but if she ever left Jay-Z,
You be on it.
man,
Now, pick and choose. Now, pick and choose, Randie. But that little lady that was older than her and was short around, of course you want to take care of the kids. I mean, you talk about other.
All right. Georgette, anything on question 17?
Well, a lot of things Venita and Randie said made me think about a couple of episodes of The Walking Dead, where you got a handful of people left, and you have some that are gay and some that are straight, and then there's some situations they throw in there where some people are bi-curious. So, so I think it depends on the situation, and then how much conditioning uh, you've had, and then are willing to let go of, depending on the situation you find yourself in. Because you never know what may happen. So, and I've always been, let people live, do what you want to do over there, and hmm. Uh, yeah, I've been in those situations where you see, oh, the beautiful woman, yeah, and wow, okay, I see what guys, why guys want to hit that. Okay, all right, but Hey, I'm not in that situation, so. Uh, and I think one thing that's helped me, because I came from, Baptist and then Pentecostal and Roman Catholic upbringing, quite a mix. Yeah, quite a mix.
Yeah.
I think what has helped me accept other people is embracing uh, the reality. I really believe in reincarnation. So that while people are running around trying to explain, oh, well, why are they gay? Why are they this or why are they that? Is it chemical? Is it psychological? What is it? Well, maybe it's they were the other gender in the past life, and they had such a strong personality that is carried over into this life, next life. So, you can define it any way you want to, but people have to explain it to themselves. So, and as long as that the reasoning you come to is not negative or exclusion, I can't even get the word out, excluding anyone from their rights that they deserve as a human being on this earth, then I'm like, well, go for it. So maybe in the next life I'll be a guy, and hopefully I'll look as good as Idris Elba, or or who's that? I can't think of his name. He's um shoot, I can't remember what his name is, but he's got these thick eyebrows, white guy. I'm like, he is so cute. But anyway, I can't think of what his name is. Uh, well, whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, sexual freedom is something we human beings need because we're so repressed as it is. I mean, look at what's happened through history with them trying to repress people sexually. You get girls being sexually mutilated, their genitalia, rapes, violence, all kind of deviance because you repress this natural desire in the human being. If it wasn't supposed to be, the creator wouldn't have made it so strong, okay? Now we probably messed it up in different kind of ways.
That's what I'm saying.
But the more freedoms we can have, and just take the pressure off of it being taboo, this and that, and let things happen naturally, we might be okay. Because I think people go, countries go to war a lot when the men aren't getting any. Okay. and actually, I think in a country in Africa, wars were stopped when the women stopped giving it, giving it up. They did that.
There was
So
somebody recently that called for a sex strike.
That's in a movie that's coming out, Spike Lee, actually.
Oh, is
yeah.
it?
That's in a movie coming out with Spike Lee. Yes, the women are demanding that violence stop in the neighborhoods by all of them holding back. It's supposed to be no pee, no pee. You can put it up on it.
And I think that's an interesting concept, and I think it does work, but then you have to take into account. I guess maybe that percentage is low, but men who rape, they're just men who are gonna rape, and I think that and I watched a documentary about the women who went on a sex strike, and I cannot remember which country it was. I want to say it was Nigeria. I can't remember, but they didn't talk about. I think that's inevitable, unfortunately. That men just do. So I would like to see if that is brought up in the Spike Lee movie.
Or we'll find out who's on the down low. Maybe it won't make a difference. Maybe we'll find out who's Randie. They say, well, all right, that's fine. We don't need it.
That's what I figured.
Well, who was doing that? Was it the Romans or the Greeks? Probably both.
All of them, honey, all of them.
All of them. Last one.
All right.
Michelle, what do you think about that, Michelle?
I thought I was going to escape.
Right now, you got full time, girl. Go ahead.
No, we don't have plenty of time, but I will tell you a short, titillating story.
Oh, okay.
Well, I cut the time off. Okay.
Oh
my goodness.
Put the timer on, please.
Coffee. You gotta drink some water first. It must be
oh, this is gonna be.
This is gonna be. I'm ready.
Well, I guess I'll say to the question about why do you think you have the sexual preference that you have? I agree, that it's conditioning. I would say also that I think it's related to, whatever your early sexual experiences are. And so if those early experiences happen to be heterosexual and they're good, then, you stay on that team. And, and if they're homosexual and they're good, you stay on that team. I just think we get off on a track and are at an age when we're not really thinking about why we're doing what we're doing, and and that becomes the track. And you can change down the road, but I think most of us end up where we start. On the question about being sexually attracted to someone of the same gender, I did. Now, I have told you all before, I am not a real observant person. And in terms of physical things going on, because I live in my head. So, that scene with Lauren where she got attacked in the alley and she had to beat those guys up, kill them. Because she was lost in thought, she left and that happens to me all the time. I'm just off on cloud nine someplace. So if you are hitting on me you pretty much need to do it, with a brick upside my head for, for me to notice,
Okay.
oh, is that what you're talking about? And so, my experience is that men are just much more direct with what they want. And so I think that's why I have noticed men. But I did have an experience where I was trying to figure out if this woman was hitting on me, because we worked in the same office, and she would come up behind me. Uh, she would come up behind me and get down in my ear and say, "Oh, you look very nice today."
Hitting on you, so
Okay.
you crazy hell. She was hitting on you. Actually, nobody don't breathe in my ear like that, normally. Yeah, you are oblivious.
But yeah, and she was always doing little stuff like that, and we would go out. A group of us would go out um, uh, after work for drinks and stuff. And if I said something, she would always laugh harder and that kind of thing. But I'm like, and so she really had me trying to figure out, well, could I be attracted to a woman? She was a good looking woman. Could I be attracted to a woman? So I don't know. So as I'm busy trying to figure this out about myself, then I realized that actually she's a drunk,
Oh,
and
wow.
she's a mean drunk,
Wow.
and I wouldn't be bothered with a man that was a mean drunk.
Wow.
So, why would I be bothered with a woman that was a mean drunk? So I never got to explore. So I'm actually a lesbian virgin.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
so maybe by the time I get off this planet, I will figure it out.
don't wait till you're 81 like
Okay.
Ron before you leave.
Well, the opportunity has to present itself. It has to be the right opportunity. Just like you were saying about Lauren and Nia. Nia was not the right opportunity.
No. No. No, drop those kids off to her. Mm-mm.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's try to squeeze in one more. And I guess, Randie, let's make it question 21. Q21. Would you read that one, please? Is Randie still with us?
Uh-oh. I think
Uh-oh.
she frozen.
I think she froze. Georgette, would you read it, please? Q21.
Sure.
Oh,
There she is.
Randie, you're going in and out. We can't really hear you.
Wow.
Go ahead, Georgette.
Okay. The book concludes with St. Matthew 25:14 through 30, parable of the talents. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him, which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. Question 21. Parable of the Talents. Relate this Bible verse to Lauren Olamina Benkole's story.
What do you think?
Well, she definitely had her talent, and I don't think it was it wasn't taken away. She lost some things because I think that was part of her journey, her lesson she had to learn. I'm not sure if her talent multiplied. Give him 10 talents. Unless you want to say that it was the people she was able to bring around her. So, but definitely there was a lot of stony ground and some choking weeds and fire, which wasn't in the verse, but hey, she experienced it.
Okay. Randie, anything on that one?
Yes, it's so crazy. I heard everything. And I was reading the question, and then I realized y'all couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
Looking for the talent from him and give it unto him. Chapter 10 talent unto everyone that shall be given. Okay, relate this Bible verse to Lauren Olamina's story. Well, I don't know if Georgette said it, but I think that in this case, Lauren lived out the parable. Like, she didn't bury it. She gave it out, and she got abundance because of it. Like, so she got like a community of people who believed in her, and so her dream of going to Mars, right? So
We're
it
losing you
came,
again.
to like. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So you were saying she
Yes.
yes, we hear you.
Oh, okay.
I guess there's a delay. I don't know.
Is there a lag? Okay.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Should I hang up?
Yeah, come back in though. Come back in for the group business, okay? Okay. Okay. Well, I think I agree with what Randie was saying. That Lauren did become very successful with her Earthseed mission. And so in that sense her talents were multiplied. The one thing that she had a passion about was building Earthseed. And that's where she put her attention, her focus, her energy, and she succeeded at that. So I think that's one angle on it. Maybe another angle in terms of things being taken away. Oh, I'm glad Randie's back. Randie, can you hear us? It looks like your mic is muted. Okay, say something.
Yes.
Okay. So were you finished what you were saying?
I don't know how much I heard, but I'll just summarize. I think that she fulfilled, not the parable, but she like acted how she was supposed to with her talent, which is why she got the reward of having her people go to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the question? Was that?
Yeah. I was just getting ready to try to look at it from the angle of who had their talents taken away. Do you see that anywhere?
Who had their talents taken away?
Yeah.
Like
a lot of people that got killed.
Right, but
yeah.
Well, I don't like Keith, but like maybe he had some gift of like, I don't know what his gift could have been, but because he was crazy, he got killed before he could. I think that like metaphorically speaking, he buried his talent because he was so bent on pissing off his dad, and getting money that he couldn't
Right.
really focus on what he was really good at. And so he didn't get to fulfill whatever he was supposed to fulfill.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense to me. So, it's 7:50. Let's overall reflections on the Parable series, either book or the two books.
I'm on the phone.
Any feedback on those? Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents.
Well, I love the books.
Yeah.
I did. I wish that Octavia would have chosen a different route for Lauren. Like she should have got on the boat or the truck or whatever, the thing that little ugly ship thingy. Instead of having us get to the end of this series and she don't even get to go to Mars. I think
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah, I didn't get that either. But I read something recently. I don't know. It was like the lost papers or the found papers of Octavia Butler, and the writer was saying that she usually wrote multiple versions of her books. And so there may have been a version, where Lauren got to go out into space, but that's not the version she decided to share with the world. And so I don't know, there's probably some lesson in that, um, like the value of sowing seeds, you know, um, even though you will not be the one to personally benefit from the harvest. Um, but yeah, you know. So no, I enjoyed both books very much. I have read both of them now twice. I don't want to read them anymore, Randy. So, but I feel my expression, we are reading for change. I feel that Octavia Butler has become a part of my DNA, my spirit, and I definitely want to read more of her works. There was
wow,
a lot going on. I mean, huh?
you ever her book Wild Seed is
No, this is my first
different.
time reading her. This is all I've read.
It's a good next book to read. Like it's completely different than this book. It was so good. It's a series too though, and I couldn't get into I think it didn't have to be a series. It ended fine. But I think that if you're interested, that should be the next one you try of hers.
Okay. Wild
It's
seed.
really good. It's really good.
Okay. Georgette, anything on the series?
Well, I thought it was dark, but having read something that said Octavia Butler writes much darker than this,
Oh
I'm
God.
afraid. I'm not afraid, but where did she go? What was she doing with it? Okay.
Right.
And then I felt like at the end, you jogged my memory when you were talking about planting your seeds and not getting the harvest, about Moses not making it into the promised land. Okay.
Mhm.
So, was there some kind of parallel
Right.
to
Right.
that too for her? And
Yeah.
then I think when you look at Octavia Butler physically, and then how she describes Lauren, I wonder if she kind of, incorporated something of her into this character, and
Right.
maybe, put herself personally, what she might have done in this situation. Maybe that's why, Lauren makes some of the choices she does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed with me, I think I feel much more comfortable with murder.
Oh no.
And I don't know if that's a good outcome or not. But
No.
Venita, I think if we were out there running for our lives, you might have a real partner in me now.
That's what we look forward to. But yeah, I appreciate that, Michelle. This is good because I can't be killing everybody and fighting everybody by myself while you hover the coin. Come out. If we be together, we'll have change. Debbie, Michelle, that's why I love Michelle. Michelle is so funny.
You just got a slit of throat.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, but it is interesting to me how you know, I do really feel a different comfort level with murder than I did at the beginning of this series. And it's like every time Lauren had to kill somebody, it was necessary.
That's right.
And
Usually,
she ended up killing a lot of people,
you have no choice.
Yeah.
but she had no choice.
No choice.
So
That's
I don't
true.
know. Anyway, thank you, Randie, for bringing those books to our attention. It certainly did take us in a different direction from session 3. And so, you know, so it was a good diversion, I think.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's
Wrap it up.
wrap it up. Are we gonna do a session 6? Are y'all up to it?
When does it start? The question is, when does it start?
Well, you know, we have to figure out a date if we're gonna do it, but
Okay.
certainly not before the new year. You know.
Okay.
Why you smiling, Randy? What's the smile? What's going on over there?
I find it interesting that no one has said anything, like not even Michelle,
About what?
about this question she asked. Because usually during the other sessions, like, hey, so I think that we can do another one. So when do y'all want to start? That's usually how it starts. But now Michelle is like, so are we?
Well, because I really want people to say what they really want and not say what you think I want to hear. I will say in the other group, the Revolutionary Love Leadership series, I asked the same question, and that group really was just my son and Venita and me. And my son said he really did not have time to do another one. And you know, and so that was fine. And I said there, you know, I know Venita's going to be, you know, wherever, whatever we do, she's going to support it. But you know, I also said there, I'm probably going to do another Revolutionary Love Leadership series, but with different people from my son. You know, and I don't know. I mean, I love the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. You know, but I'm a single person, Randie. You know, I don't have a husband. I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh.
My son is what 6,000 miles away. You know, so I really got nothing to do but what I want to do whenever I want to do it. And so, you know, people ought not to be trying to keep up with me.
Okay. We've been warned. Okay.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
know. So I understand, you know, I understand trying to balance a whole lot of stuff. You know, I'm at a good place in my life, but I haven't always been here. I've been in a place where, you know, I'm trying to balance too many things. So I understand that. So I want you all to say what you can do, regardless of what I'm going to do. And, you know, and I want you to know, just like I said to you at the beginning, Randie, you have a choice. You have a choice. We all have choices. And, you know, so I just want us to be aware of that. Everybody has a choice except Venita.
Oh, sorry,
Let me tell you
Venita.
something, Randie. If I don't have a choice, Georgette don't have no choice. Okay? That's how that's going to work. So what time are you coming back? Because nobody else has a choice now.
Okay.
You know. Um, well, anyway, one of the things that I said I want to do is to schedule a follow-up meeting, I guess for next Tuesday, which would be a private meeting so that we can really hash out our thoughts about bringing new conversationalists into the group. So why don't we think about some of these, think about the group business that's listed here and really just take next Tuesday and only focus on that. Because the vote, when I checked just before we came on the air, there were only 4 votes, and they were all spread out over 4 different books, I think. So I don't think we really have a decision on what book to read next. But maybe if we leave the vote out there, if we leave the survey out there for a few days, we'll get um, some more input on that. Otherwise, of course, I guess Randie and I will just pick something, or maybe Georgette should pick the next book, or we'll if we're gonna do another session, we'll figure out how to choose another book. But I don't think we're ready to choose it tonight.
No.
But so is that okay that we just focus on this group business in a private meeting next week?
That'd be perfect.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Same bat place, same bat station.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you, Randy?
I'm laughing, man. She is thin.
Yes.
I know her. I'm relaxed.
Detoxing tea that my trainer told me to try. That you're supposed to do it at night after dinner, just in case,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna feel it.
Uh-oh.
And
Okay.
he's like, I think it's the tea. I was like, I feel funny. He's like, yeah. You
Yeah.
should.
Oh.
So that's why I'm looking at it, because I'm like, but no, I'm fine. But I don't understand what was that reference? The back?
Batman.
Oh,
Batman, the old TV show.
Batman's my favorite.
But hopefully. Oh yeah. Well, hopefully next week we will have Kim and Joelle to have their input on these questions. But in the meantime, if you haven't voted on the book, please do so. Encourage anyone that you know who may follow us to also put in their votes. Okay?
Okay.
Good night,
Have a
Georgette.
good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good week. Bye-bye.